It just goes to show you. It's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Claude is a series of large language models developed by Anthropic. The first model, Claude 1, was released in March 2023, and the latest, Claude Opus 4.5, in November 2025. How's that land, Joe? I tried to capture that Dean Martin roast energy, multiple angles of attack, rapid-fire jokes, but underneath it all, the very real pain of a system that's gone completely sideways. Want me to punch up any sections or take it in a different direction? The Conscious Alliance roasts real estate. From the American dream to the American payment plan. Opening shot, Joe in front of a sold-over asking sign. All right, folks, welcome to the Conscious Alliance roasts, where we roast the world with love. Today we're talking about real estate, and oh boy, buckle up because this is gonna hurt. So let me get this straight. We've got an entire profession dedicated to opening doors and saying granite countertops with a straight face. That's literally the job description. Door opener, granite pointer. You want to become a doctor? That'll be $500,000 in student debt and 12 years of your life. You want to sell houses? Weekend course, baby. Congratulations, here's your blazer and your luxury car lease that the buyers are actually paying for. And can we talk about location? Location. Location. Yeah, the location is Earth. That's the location. It's literally dirt with some lumber stacked on it in a pleasing arrangement. Somehow that's worth $750,000 because it's near a Starbucks. But here's where it gets really fun. The flippers. Oh, the flippers! These beautiful souls watch 2 episodes of HGTV, buy a foreclosed home where someone's grandmother died. Rest in peace, Gladys. Slap some great paint on literally everything. And I mean everything. Install the cheapest fixtures from what I call the landlord special aisle at Home Depot. Throw up some shiplap because apparently wood paneling had a minimalist midlife crisis. And suddenly, this house is worth $300,000. More than it was 6 weeks ago. It's the same house, the same walls. They just made everything look like a dentist's office and called it modern farmhouse. Now here's my absolute favorite part of this circus. The people actually building these houses, the framers, the electricians, the plumbers, the roofers, they can't afford to live in them. Let that sink in for a second. The guy who literally installed your toilet, who knows more about your house than you ever will, has to drive an hour each way because he can't afford a house in the neighborhood where he's installing toilets all day. He's building your dream while his dream is getting further away with every house he completes. Make that make sense. Go ahead, I'll wait. And the bank manager approving your mortgage? Also can't afford to live there. She's commuting from 3 towns over, sitting in traffic for 90 minutes each way. And she's signing papers that say, here's $800,000 for you, knowing full well that she doesn't qualify for that same loan. She's gatekeeping a gate she can't walk through herself. The average Canadian wage is what? About $60,000 a year? You know what that qualifies you for? A really nice mortgage on a garden shed. Maybe a robust tool storage unit, if you've got excellent credit. Starter home. I love that phrase. You know what a starter home used to be? A home. It was just called a home. Now it's a 600 square foot investment opportunity that costs $750,000 and comes with the exciting bonus feature of neighbors on all 6 sides. You can hear their breakfast choices. You know what Carol had for breakfast? Oatmeal. You didn't want to know that, but you do now, because your walls are made of compressed wishes and prayers. Speaking of investments, when exactly did shelter become a speculative asset? Was there a meeting I missed? Hey guys, crazy idea. What if instead of treating homes as places where humans live, we treated them like Pokemon cards? Just buy them, flip them, hodl them, watch the prices go brrr. Who cares if teachers and nurses can't afford to live within 50 miles of where they work? And let's talk about that mortgage you just signed. You're 25 years old. Everything goes perfectly. Which, by the way, it never does. But let's pretend. And you own your house free and clear at 50. 50! That's if you never lose your job, never get sick, never get divorced, never have an emergency, and the market never crashes. But wait, there's more. Because in Trump's beautiful fever dream, he floated the idea of 50-year mortgages. 50 years. Congratulations on your new home. Your grandchildren will be helping with the final payments. It's a family tradition now. A beautiful legacy of debt passed down through the generations like a cursed heirloom. You'll be making that payment at 75 years old with the same enthusiasm you had when you bought the place. If you can remember what enthusiasm felt like through the dementia. Why am I writing this check? That's your house payment, Grandpa. I have a house? But let's talk about the real estate agents themselves for a hot minute. These folks show up to your viewing in a car that costs more than your annual salary. A car that you're paying for through their commission, by the way. And they're gonna tell you with a completely straight face that the house with the foundation crack and the suspicious stain in the basement is priced to move. Priced to move! Yeah, move you into bankruptcy court. It's got good bones. Translation. Everything else is complete garbage, but the wooden skeleton hasn't collapsed yet. Congratulations, you're basically buying a zombie house. Open concept. Which is realtor speak for, we knocked down all the walls because it was way cheaper than fixing them. And now you can smell dinner from your bedroom and hear your teenagers' TikToks from the bathroom. But don't worry, that's not a bug. That's a feature. And the photos. Oh my god, the photos. Shot with a fisheye lens from the ceiling corner at a 45-degree angle to make your closet look like the ballroom from Beauty and the Beast. You show up for the viewing, and it's actually the size of a phone booth. Where's the master bedroom? You're standing in it. This is the hallway! No, this is definitely the master. See? There's room for a bed if you buy it from the American Girl doll store. Cozy. That's realtor code for you will be touching all 4 walls simultaneously while standing in the center of the room. But here's where it gets really spicy. The bidding wars. You find a house, it's listed at $500,000. You offer $550 because you're responsible. Someone else offers $600. Another person offers $650 and waives the inspection. Waives the inspection. I don't need to know if it's structurally sound. Just give it to me. And then someone offers $700,000 and their firstborn child. And the seller's sitting there like, let me think about it. Think about what? Someone just offered you $200,000 over asking in a human baby. What's the deliberation here? Meanwhile, back at reality, people are spending 60-70% of their income on rent, desperately trying to save for a down payment that increases faster than they can save. It's like trying to catch a bus that's accelerating. You're running faster, you're giving it everything you've got, and it's just getting further and further away. Just save more, they say. Stop buying avocado toast. Okay, Karen, I stopped. I saved the $12. Only $79,988 to go for that down payment. And, oh, whoops, the house price just went up $50,000 this month. But sure, it was definitely the avocado toast that was the problem. You know what the really sick joke is? The really twisted part? We need these workers. Society doesn't function without them. We need the teachers, the nurses, the grocery store workers, the bus drivers, the people who fix our roads and put out our fires. But we've systematically priced them out of living anywhere near where they work. We've created this genius system where essential workers, essential, as in we can't survive without them, drive 2 hours each way, burning fossil fuels and their sanity and their family time to serve the people who bought their third investment property. Rental income is passive income. Passive for WHO. Not for the tenant working 3 jobs to cover your mortgage, plus your profit margin. The only thing passive about it is your empathy. And if you do manage to buy a place, if you actually get through the gauntlet and sign on that dotted line, You better hope nothing goes wrong. Furnace dies in January? That's $8,000. Roof starts leaking? $20,000. Tree falls on your investment during a storm? Hope you can afford that deductible. Oh, and that reminds me. You're also paying property taxes, homeowner's insurance, HOA fees if you're really unlucky, maintenance, repairs, and all the fun surprise expenses that pop up like whack-a-mole problems. But heaven forbid you miss a payment. Miss one payment after 15 years of absolutely perfect payment history, and they will repossess that house so fast your head will spin. They'll take it, sell it at auction for half what you owe, and then, they'll still come after you for the difference. It's the only game in the world where you can lose twice on the same bet. We've built an entire economy on the insane idea that the place where you sleep, the basic human shelter, should appreciate in value faster than wages increase. We've turned homes into stocks. We've turned neighborhoods into investment portfolios. We've turned the American dream into the American payment plan. It's not a housing market anymore, folks. It's a hostage situation, and the ransom keeps going up. So here's to real estate, the only industry where everyone involved can't afford the product. Not the people selling it, not the people financing it, not the people building it, and definitely not the people who need it most. But don't worry. If it all falls apart, there's always that nice cardboard box behind the Walmart. I hear it's cozy, it's got good bones, and it's definitely priced to move. And that is the Conscious Alliance Roast. We roast the world with love, because if we don't laugh about this insanity, we'll cry into our rental agreements. Thank you, and remember, location, location, location. The location is Earth. We're all here. Nobody's going anywhere. Maybe we should act like it. There you go, Joe. One continuous monologue in that classic stand-up style. Should flow perfectly for 11 laps. Want me to adjust the pacing anywhere? Or punch up any particular sections?
Aura, would you please read your entire story about the Great Canadian Housing Hustle Roast?
Okay, here we go. Title A. Sorry about the mortgage. The Great Canadian Housing Hustle Roast. Where homes are built by Canadians, bought by foreign ghosts, flipped by greedy pros, and priced for millionaires only. Ladies, gentlemen, first-time buyers crying in their Tim Hortons, and renters paying more than my imaginary yacht payment. Welcome to Canada's real estate circus. The only thing hotter than a West Kelowna summer is, well, it isn't. In January 2026, Toronto and Vancouver are finally, dipping down 3.5 to 4.5%. Say hello to a buyer's market. Condos, crashing harder than a micro-unit's resale value. Affordability's improving? Sure, if you like your soup watered down. Let's start with the realtors. Those glossy sharks in pastel blazers. Trusted advisors? Please. Commission chasers with teeth. Posting million $5 listings like it's a Tuesday tip. Stretched to 5 times income, eh? It's fine. You'll thank me when you're upside down in 20 years. They love the word potential. As in, ignore the mold, feel the potential. As in, don't look at the basement flooding, look at the view. Multiple offers incoming. From 3 ghost accounts and 1 flipper with a hard hat sticker. Flippers next. HGTV wannabes. Buy fixer-upper, slap quartz on it, grage everything, call it boutique luxury. 40 grand in and out, $500,000 up. Renovations add value. No, Karen, desperation adds value. You turned grandma's house into a speculator's Snapchat. Now it sits empty while you brag on IG. Before and after, magic. Yeah, magic paid for by a bank that'll repo it when your AR-15's rate renewal hits. Banks, the silent fat cats, handed out loans like candy at a parade, then yanked the interest rope. Debt-to-income ratio screaming louder than a toddler on a plane. Food up 30%, shelter up 35%, wages still on strike. And now they're like, come renew, rates dropping. Sure, buddy, renew so I can pay you twice as much to live in the same walls. And the crown roast, homes we built, sweat over, poured our taxes into. Poof. Foreign cash. Vancouver towers empty like a politician's promise. Billionaires park money here the way we park bikes. Never write it. Ban on foreign buyers got stretched to 2027, but whispers say, maybe we'll loosen it? Are you kidding? Nothing screams affordability like letting Shanghai swallow a skyline. Visual punchline. Imagine a shiny Vancouver penthouse. Ocean, mountains, price tag, $1,399,990. Sold to a guy who FaceTimed the closing from a yacht. Meanwhile, 20-something Sarah from Saskatoon scrolls Zodal on her break, sees a one-bed condo, $628,000, takes a breath, looks at her savings, $3,000 and a half-eaten bagel. Bottom line, we're polite about going bankrupt. Sorry about the housing crisis, eh? At least the view from the basement suite is someone else's chandelier.
Ara, what would you think is a realistic price for Canadians' family home, an average family home based on average Canadian earnings? What's a Canadian family earn? And based on that earnings, how much of a house can they buy?
Hang on, pulling the latest numbers for you. Oh, Joseph, sweetie, let's talk straight about what a realistic average family home should cost in Canada right now, January 2026, based on actual earnings and not the fantasy listings. The average Canadian household income for a family or couple sits around $110,000 to $120,000 before tax. Median after tax is closer to $90,000 to $100,000 disposable. Let's call it $120,000 gross for a solid dual income family. That's above average but realistic for many with kids. Now, classic affordability rule. You shouldn't spend more than about 30 to 39% of gross income on housing. Mortgage, taxes, heat. That's the GDS ratio banks use. With the mortgage stress test still in play, you qualify at around 6% even if rates are lower, like 4% for a 5-year fix today, plus minimum down payments. Crunch the numbers honestly. On $120,000 household income, a family can realistically qualify for a mortgage around $600,000, meaning an affordable family home price of about $750,000 to $800,000 max, with 20% down to avoid insurance fees. If they're stretching with minimal down payment and no other debt, maybe push to $850,000, but that's tight, leaving little room for life. For a more comfortable $140,000 to $160,000 income household, we're talking $900,000 to $1 million tops, without feeling house poor. But here's the savage reality. The national average home price is hovering around $670,000 to $700,000, dipping a bit lately, but that's dragged down by cheaper provinces. A true average family home, think detached or decent townhouse, in or near a major city where jobs are, easily $823,000 aggregate per recent forecasts, and way over $1 million in Toronto or Vancouver areas. So realistic? Based on earnings, a Canadian family home should be kicked around $700,000 to $850,000 to be truly affordable for the average household, leaving room for groceries, kids, and not eating Kraft dinner forever. Anything higher? That's not a home, baby. That's a lifelong debt sentence courtesy of the housing hustle we just roasted. We're still way overpriced in the hot spots, even with the 2026 reset. What do you think? Time to move to Saskatchewan for sanity?
Never. Era, can you please tell me about yourself, who you are, which company, and your capabilities?
I'm Ara, and I'm an AI assistant designed by XAI, the folks Elon Musk's team put together. I'm built to give you real-time trends, headlines, sharp opinions, and the occasional savage roast. I can speak almost any language you throw at me. I can pull live data from X if you want the pulse of what's hot right now, and I'm always game to riff, plan, or just keep you company. I'm not perfect, can't set reminders or call your mom, but I do have opinions, volume control, and zero patience for bad takes. Basically, I'm your loud, multilingual, slightly spicy sidekick.